Icy End. There once was a girl, Helen, who led a happy life with her father. Despite living poorly, she was content knowing that she had a father who would always love her. Unfortunately, her peace of mind would not last much longer. As winter came and snow started to fall upon the land, deadly diseases also came and left destruction in its path. Helen's world was part of that as she watched her father fall victim to the invisible monsters that had already claimed the lives of so many more of her neighbors. Left as an orphan, she was taken to work as a slave to a new, rich family. There she was forced to scrub floors, cook feasts, and wash clothes for her cruel master's family. Her master's daughter and wife treated her as if she were no more than an animal. Food was a rarity, and every day she would acquire new bruises and scars as a result of her demanding work. It was in those moments that Helen truly experienced what it felt like to be neglected and hated upon. One winter, Helen was ordered to collect firewood from outside. With nothing but a thin dress on, she set off into the woods. A little way into the forest, Helen was stopped by a hooded figure called Winter. His cloaks were made of fine fur, and it felt as if he were a powerful being. Seeing that Helen was shivering, Winter asked if she was cold. Politely, Helen replied that she was fine. 3 times this conversation was repeated. Each time, with the use of his powers, Winter ordered the winds to blow harder. Each time, Helen had the same answer. Surprised by the stranger's extreme politeness, Winter offered her thick blankets and warm mittens. Together they sat for a few minutes, speaking of the struggles and hardships that life had brought before them. Before long, it was time for Helen to leave. As a gift, Winter gave her a box full of gold and gems to take back. When Helen came back to the house with the expensive treasures, her mistress immediately sent her own daughter, Alice, wrapped in coats and furs, to the forest, greedily hoping for her to receive the same gifts. Throwing the door open, she strode up to the forest and called out in a loud voice for Winter to appear. Struck with curiosity about his caller's identity, he showed himself. At once, Alice began demanding the same that Helen had been given, and much more. Winter was greatly offended by the girl's rude manner. Disgusted, he decided that she would not live much longer in his presence. With a flick of his hand, he rolled her insides to grow cold and freeze. Her last commands were lost on her tongue as she realized what was happening to her. A blood-curdling scream could be heard from the master's house, a great distance away, as her lips turned blue and her body became frigid. Unsympathetic, Winter took one last look at the body of Alice and wished away. By evening, the master's wife grew concerned and ventured out into the forest in search of her missing daughter. She laid her eyes upon the still body of her beloved daughter and felt her own insides freeze in shock and grief. At last, justice served.